This is The Great Expanse by John Bap 426 here on YouTube. It is always a pleasure to record these videos, to edit them, put my own spin on them. For your viewing pleasure, for your listening pleasure. And if you like the videos that you've seen thus far, hit the like button. Share these videos with other people that you know that like comic book related stuff as much as you do. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell for notifications. Which one? All. Not personalized or the one underneath, but all. So the next time a new video is dropped, you'll know about it second. I'll know about it first. Yes. Still the one breath champ. I get all my pleasantries, I get all my advertisements out of the way in one breath so we can focus on the meat of the video. Now, you've already clicked on the thumbnail, you already know what the video is about. But before we get to that, let me give a few explanations, okay? As you notice, there are two rings on this one hand, and I've only been gesturing with one hand. Now, at the beginning of this channel, which is only 3 years ago, okay? You would always see a finger tape, the wrist tape, the hand tape because of injuries that have compiled at work. Well, now we got the mother of all injuries at work. It's something called trigger finger, okay? So basically, when I would do this with my pinky, it wouldn't undo that. I would literally manually have to flick it on and flick it off. So it's something that required surgery, which is a surprise to me. But little swelling, but guess what? As Morgan Freeman said in Deep Impact, but the waters receded. But guess what? The swelling will go down, all right? So we are looking up, 2 thumbs up. See, this ring would usually be on this finger, but nothing's going on this hand right now, all right? So enough about me. This article almost jumped off the screen. Now, when I say an article jumps off the screen, that means I immediately have to do a video about it because I think it's something that's pertinent to things that are comic book related, okay? But the website is comicbookmovie.com, and the headline is Man of Tomorrow reportedly casting big male character who will appear in future DCU projects. Is it Batman? Now, I haven't read the article yet. I don't pre-read or review the articles before I record. Nope. I'm learning about it as you're learning about it. All right. Now, the author is Daniel Klisman. For some reason, the first and last name are just jammed together. So I don't know. Okay. So, Man of Tomorrow appears to be a big step forward for the DC universe on screen. The film will introduce Brainiac for the first time in Superman's theatrical career, and there's a lot of speculation it will also feature Wonder Woman's live-action debut leading up to her upcoming movie. Now, the Superman follow-up is rumored to feature another intriguing-sounding character, and I hope I remember these points. Lord, I hate when they do this. Okay, they just had a pop-up or a disclaimer saying, subscribe to this channel to continue reading. Shut up. In an ex-Q&A, Apocalyptic Horseman claimed that a mysterious female hero rumored to be in Man of Tomorrow, believed to be Wonder Woman, would be cast in the next month. Going from that, the scooper went on to claim that a big male character is currently being cast for the movie. Though he is unsure about whether or not said new player is a hero, he will reportedly show up in other DCU projects down the line. Now, here's a quote. There's a big male supporting character too. Not sure if it's a hero, but it's someone who'll reappear in future projects. Wish I had more details. All right. And again, that was a tweet from Apocalyptic Horseman. It's worth mentioning that in November, scooper Daniel Reitman claimed that Man of Tomorrow was looking for a major male character. There is also a major new male character they are casting for Man of Tomorrow. Some theorized he was meant to be Steve Trevor. But DC Studios co-CEO James Gunn quickly debunked that on social media. It's unclear whether the character mentioned by Horseman and Reitman is the same, but it seems to be the case. The fact that the character is described as big and that he is meant to show up in other projects points to him being an important presence in the franchise. Though that's admittedly little information to go on, the description, if accurate, could fit Batman. While his starring vehicle, The Brave and the Bold, has faced a slow development process, things seem to be picking up for it in a significant way. Silence. Also during his recent Q&A, Apocalyptic Horseman stated that DC Studios is hoping to get cameras rolling for the project in 2027 for a tentative late 2028 release date. If that is the case, the studio could be looking to establish Bruce Wayne in Man of Tomorrow to build excitement for the hero before giving him the spotlight in his own movie. If the rumors that Wonder Woman will make her debut in the sequel are true, then it would make sense to feature the whole DC Trinity, particularly with a threat as big as Brainiac. Of course, this is speculation. As mentioned, there is still little to go on to properly determine whether or not Batman will show up in the Superman follow-up. Man of Tomorrow will fly into theaters on July 9th, 2027. So we're looking at a window of almost exactly 2 years from when Superman was released on July 11th of 2025, except this one is July 9th, 2027. Now, what this tells me is that there has been supervisory trumping of James Gunn's partial slate. That's what it looks like to me. Okay, so in other words, somebody that has more authority in DC Studios or WBD, Warner Brothers Discovery, has stepped in and edited or made adjustments or alterations to James Gunn's partial slate. All we heard about was Superman. Okay, and remember, it was called Superman Legacy originally. Okay, so with this article, they are speculating, Apocalyptic Horseman is speculating, that the entire DC Trinity, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman, will make an appearance in the sequel. Now, what that sounds like to me is that they are trying to course correct. You understand what I'm saying? Somebody, David Zaslav perhaps, or maybe Peter Safran, has been in talks extensively with James Gunn to get him out of the sort of harebrained attitude and spin of the DC universe so far, okay? Because like I said, there's been identical tones for everything thus far, and I'm not gonna go further down that rabbit hole. So the fact that we are getting Wonder Woman, who was not mentioned in the partial slate at all, only thing we got was Amazons. It's like, are we gonna learn about Hippolyta? Nobody cares about Hippolyta. Nobody can even spell her name. Okay, which would have been derived directly from Greek mythology. So perhaps he was hoping that the antagonist, maybe it would have been Cersei, maybe it would have been Ares or Hades, would have been enough to propel people to watch this series. But no, they're saying they're fast-tracking Wonder Woman, that they might be fast-tracking Batman. Okay, now there was never a date given for Batman the Brave and the Bold. But the fact that the DC Trinity may be showing up in just the third movie, because Supergirl will come out next year, is showing that course correction, intelligent course correction, is taking place. You start off your franchise with the franchise players. You do not go down the list of all-time great Chicago Bulls, and you don't mention Michael Jordan for the first 10 slots. That's not how you do things. You go Michael Jordan, you go Scottie Pippen, then after those two, all right? And again, this is not an NBA video, but I'm just giving you an idea of how the partial slate should have functioned. We should have got Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman immediately. Immediately. We know who the main antagonist is going to be. Brainiac, who is a DC universe-wide threat, because what Brainiac does, he collects all the data, he collects all the essential information of a planet, he absorbs it into himself to extend his own intelligence and his own brilliance, and then he destroys the planet, and every record of the planet is only stored in his mainframe, okay? So it will take more than Batman to defeat a villain with the scope and the scale of Brainiac. And Brainiac has been cast. I believe his name is Brad Eidinger. I know nothing about Brad Eidinger, but there is going to be supplied a picture for you all right here. This is Brad Eidinger, all right? Or was it Glenn Eidinger? I'm not sure. But we will find out. Lars Eidinger, I'm sorry. His name is Lars Eidinger. Something about them Lars, the Lars Nicholson, Thrawn. But Lars Eidinger, he looks a little Brainiac-esque. He just has like a perfect face to me, like disturbed middle-aged male white man. Okay, I mean white male. Okay, And I think that's ideal for an android to have this sort of, no disrespect to Lars, but this sort of serial killer-esque look. Because we know that Brainiac has no kind of compassion for living beings. He's an inorganic being, okay, that absorbs all this information that just annihilates organic life without even trying. Okay, I mean, without even giving any second thought. All right. So if this is true, if the DC Trinity, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman, show up in Man of Tomorrow, I believe that it will gather in more longtime DC fans. I believe that it will sort of debunk the corner that James Gunn appears to be painting himself into, which is a one-trick pony that can only do ensemble casts with a sort of harebrained, wacky tone to it. Please, the tone. That has been my major thing with comic book movies. The tone. If you're going to start a new universe, there should not be a familiar or identical tone to the MCU. But too late. We've already gotten Superman with that MCU tone. L in a way, but it was still a good movie visually. But no, that is not how you dig your heels into the dirt and establish Superman and the rest of DC. No. The tone. But those were my thoughts on this article. What do you think about a big male presence being cast for Man of Tomorrow? Is it Batman? Could it be Darkseid? What other big male character can you sort of think that would be insinuated or sort of integrated into the Superman sequel that will be in future DCU projects? I think it's a small handful of people that would sort of fit that description, okay? Or perhaps it'd be Aquaman. We already have Hal Jordan, Guy Gardner, and Jon Stewart cast. We do not have a Flash or an Aquaman cast. And curiously, who would be cast as Wonder Woman? Because it seems like the fan casts are always more resembling the source material from the comic books. Not that everybody has to be identical with the comic books. It doesn't have to be shot for shot or panel for panel with comic books. It just has to be a good story that is told. You can deviate. I'm not a comic book purist. You can deviate from the source material, but make it better. Make it better. Like Batman Begins. Historically, the man who trained Bruce Wayne after the death of his parents, the murder of his parents, he went around the world to learn all he could about taking fear away from the regular population so they can live in harmony while instilling fear into the people that would commit these atrocities. His trainer is Henry Ducard. What Batman Begins that was different was that Liam Neeson introduced himself as Ducard, but he turned out to be Ra's al Ghul. I think that is a better story because nobody knows who Henry Ducard looks like. Henry Ducard is not a household name. So, do the same thing with these movies. Change it, but make it better. Don't make it worse. Don't make Lara and Jor-El these Viltrumites. That was an atrocity in Superman. An atrocity. He's taken 80-year-old or 86-year-old IP, intellectual property Superman, and he's adapting it to something that just recently came out 20 years ago with Invincible. No, Invincible is idolizing Superman, but now James Gunn is making Superman idolize the Viltrumites. He's making them idolize Naruto and all these other established anime references. That's not what you do, Mr. Gunn. You established a unique tone and a unique identity to introduce Superman, to introduce Wonder Woman. Batman maybe not as much because Batman is just in our collective consciousness, to the current generation, so that the current generation conforms to Superman, conforms to Wonder Woman, not the other way around. That's just my opinion, all right? So if you appreciated my editorial about this, if you appreciated my response to this article, leave a comment, leave a dissertation. In other words, be as lengthy as you need to be in the comment section. And by the way, where is that comment section? Thank you, Mr. Brent, Burnham Hawk's finest at the Office UK. Do your part. I'll do my part to heal speedily. And The Great Expanse by John Beth 426 can and will expand. It's in the name.